I have been part of Hope since its very beginning, and one of the things I remember was the summer that we were meeting so many times with pastors from the area and with people from the synod to decide how this was all going to come together. And then at one of the meetings, one of the pastors, Koshada was his name, he was very German and he had been a missionary in Africa, but he was serving at the church in Montgomery. And all the talking was going on about how to plan and how this was going to happen. And then he said, let's stop talking and start worshiping.
Hello, I am Marv Roloff, Pastor Marv Roloff. I served as a weekend interim at Hope Lutheran Church. I'd like to start by simply reminding all of us of a Bible verse. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and do not forget all his benefits. My time with this congregation actually started with a telephone call from Pastor Bud Larson. He told me that there was a group of people in Jordan, Minnesota, who wanted to start a new congregation. My memory tells me that there were 4 couples that I met with that night. Shar and Howard Sensky, and Harry and Cindy Jansen, Jack and Sandy Lothridge, and the Lees. I have many memories of what happened there at that congregation in Jordan, but there is one that I will probably never forget, and that was I served during the Christmas season getting there, and then it came time to read the gospel story from Luke. And we had no assigned people, but as we got to the story and we came to Mary and Joseph, I said, are there any ones here who would like to be Mary and Joseph? And sure enough, up came a little boy and a little girl. And then we continued reading, and we did the same for the shepherds and the angels and the kings. And people volunteered for this pageant. The setting in the barn is simply one that I remember, and I remember specifically because there was leakage from the ceiling of the barn from the steam, and a drop dropped right on my Bible as we were reading Luke 2, and that spot remains in my Bible yet to this day. Finally, I'm reminded that even as an interim pastor, it was a ministry of congregation and pastor. In the service, there is this wonderful exchange between pastor and congregation. It is, the Lord be with you, and the response, and also with you. The congregation here at Hope Lutheran has enriched my life by the gospel and friendship. Thank you, and God bless you all today.
I'm Warren Tietz, Pastor Tietz at the time, and this is Jan. And what years were they? When were we there?
We were there in '74, and you resigned in '77.
And this congregation put themselves together without without a lot of help from the general church. It did it themselves. Yeah. So what we had was an old gymnasium from the old school. So what we do is set up the chairs in the kind of a sort of half circle around the altar, and until we had a real building of our own, that's what we used.
Well, I think your favorite story is when one little boy went out to the lavatory, and he came back, and rather than go sit with his parents, he started the circle, and he ran. And he ran
What?
as Oren said.
The father was sitting next to the aisle, and he just went up, Brett, grab it. Kid, sit it down.
But it's just one of those, you know, he was in the gym and he was gonna run. That's a good, that's a memory.
Hi, I'm Paul Larson, and this is my wife Esther. I served as a pastor at Hope from 78 to 91.
That was really a wonderful time in our lives, so many memories. And at that time, Hope was primarily made up of young families. Our son Jeff and other Hope kids grew up together, and we all formed lifelong friendships.
My first service at Hope was in the school building, where everyone helped set up chairs and take them down again after the service, and the baptismal font was someone's candy dish. The first unit was being constructed, and Hope members invested hours and hours of sweat equity. We would be there hanging sheetrock late into the night, and lots of Saturdays were spent painting and staining. So many people worked so hard on bringing that church building into being. I remember the Sunday we processed from the school to the brand new church building, and then we dedicated it. Someone paralleled that to like the Hebrews wandering in the wilderness and finally entering the promised land. Hope always had this can-do attitude, and because of it, the church accomplished great things in the community.
Hope has always been a very friendly church where newcomers are warmly welcomed. And Hope members care deeply about each other, surrounding and supporting one another in difficult times.
Creating community was part of Hope's brand. People got together and got to know each other through Lenten soup and sandwich suppers and potluck meals and other events. The church youth served as actors in the Lenten chancel dramas, and they did a wonderful job of leading a moving Good Friday Tenebrae service.
The taco stand at the Scott County Fair was a moneymaker and helped lots of members become better acquainted. I love those tacos.
Lest I forget, there are a couple of other family members to include. Our son Jeff was just a few months old when we came to Hope. He still maintains friendships with kids that he grew close to in Jordan. And then there's Charlie the church mouse. Charlie helped deliver children's sermons at Hope and the other congregations I served. It might sound like sour grapes, but I think people miss Charlie more than me. Can you blame them? We have many wonderful memories of our time at Hope, and we cherish them. Thank you for inviting us to share some memories and for allowing me to serve as your pastor all those years. It was an honor and a privilege. God has blessed Hope through the years, and Hope has served God and others very well. May God bless Hope Lutheran Church and strengthen her for service in the next 50 years and beyond.
Well, greetings on Hope's 50th. I'm Bob Iverson. I served here as pastor from September 1992 until August of 2004. One of my earliest recollections actually happened before I accepted the call officially. I had lunch with my predecessor, Paul Larson, to talk about the church and the community a little bit. And one of the things that I asked Paul about as we were sitting there was about all this talk I'd heard about a bypass going around Shakopee. And he said, oh, they've been talking about that for years. He said, you can just forget about it. It's never going to happen. And a little less than a year after that, they began work on the bypass around Shakopee. But I mention this because it was such an important event, not only in the lives of people, obviously, that live in that community, but everywhere south, including Jordan. things changed immeasurably for this community and also for this congregation. When I arrived, was something quite different because the congregation I came from was about, in terms of membership, about twice the size of Hope. And yet I arrived here, and rather than struggling to have one organist or piano player, we had 3 organists and we had 3 pianists. And we had a great variety in worship, one that certainly continued changing over the years as new things were offered and new things were tried. We had wonderful choirs, both adult and youth. I remember the Christmas programs, the Sunday school Christmas programs that we used to have at the elementary school because there would be no room to have it here. And we would absolutely fill their gymnasium, and it was a great program. Well, with that bypass that I mentioned, the community began growing, and we began growing. But I did mention, and remember having this conversation with people here, that we would not grow automatically because the community was growing. We had to be intentional about it, and so we were intentional about our growth and about our outreach. We reached over 80% capacity in the old sanctuary at every Sunday service, and holidays, of course, would fill the narthex as well as the sanctuary. So in the late 90s, we began to consider options for adding on to our building space. And after a successful capital appeal and a lot of thought and prayer, the work began in the early 2000s on the new addition and space. Well, it was finished. By Thanksgiving, we hosted and we had a full house for the Thanksgiving Eve service. A wonderful way to start the ministry. The expression and the programs, God's work, our hands, came from the ELCA a number of years ago, but it really is a good description of the history of Hope Lutheran Church. Thank you and God bless.
Hello, old friends. I am delighted that you're celebrating a milestone, 50 years of hope. So I want to just bless you on your way. Are you surprised that I wrote a song for this? Yeah, I'm just going to sing you my little song, jingle, kind of called 50 Years of Hope. Century you celebrate today. I went with you part of that way. Now you're there and I'm here, and I'm glad for the years I journeyed with you. Beloved friends, I'll see you again, because we're walking the same road. All that love light shining through. Beloved community, you are what the sad world needs. Keep doing what you do. All that love light shining through. Church family, on the way that's true, your hope for the world. really, nope. But my heart is filled up like a gratitude cup. I won't just say it, I'll sing. Beloved friends, I'll see you again. We're all walking the same road. You keep doing what you do. All that love light shining through. Beloved community, you're what the sad world needs. Keep doing what you do. All that love light shining through. On the way, church family. On the way, that's true. Your hope for the world. That's right. That's right. Keep doing what you do. Blessings, grace, and peace to you. Congratulations. Happy anniversary. Later.
Happy birthday, Hope Lutheran. You are a supportive and beautiful community. My name is Hans Peterson, and I'm here to say congrats and thanks. Thank you for some significant personal milestones. You were there when my two sons, Nelson and Simon, were confirmed. You were there when my younger son was born and baptized. You were there when my mom, Grandma Ruth, died and we had her memorial service at Hope. Thanks too for the way in which you've been supportive of me as a musician to the broader church. When Pastor Steve arrived, I don't know how many years after he did, he said, hey, could you get involved and lead worship with our young people 4 times a year? And so I've just got some great memories of leading worship there. And thanks for engaging the gifts of those young people and for engaging mine as well. And most recently, you've supported me on this journey to become a pastor. I was your intern pastor from 2019 to 2021, and you shaped me into becoming who I am. One of my favorite things was my internship project, the Welcome Table, where we had some lively worship and tasty food on Sunday nights. And of course, thanks for being a community that has nurtured the faith of my family, that has encouraged my gifts and supported me on the journey to become a pastor. You have a special place in my heart. And I know some exciting and meaningful things are in store for you today and tomorrow and in the next 50 years. Congratulations, Hope Lutheran. Happy birthday.